We look at our elders and see fragility. We look in the mirror and fear the coming weakness, the loss of self. Is this slow fade our only destiny? This path ends in dependency. But what if there is another way? An ancient path to preserve the vessel. Stay with me, because the final understanding we reach together changes everything. Aging body. We have come to view the process of aging as a battle, a war against wrinkles, against slowness, against the inevitable entropy that pulls at the very structure of our being. We see the loss of muscle not merely as a physical change, but as a defeat, a sign that we are losing the war. This mindset, this perspective of constant struggle, is exhausting. It fills our later years with anxiety and fear, when they should be a time of wisdom and peace. But what if we were to change the frame? What if aging is not a war, but a season? The mountain does not fight the wind and rain that sculpted over millennia. It endures, its core and foundation solid. So too can the human body learn to endure its seasons. The weakening we fear, this gradual decline in strength that science calls sarcopenia, is not a sudden event. It is a slow, quiet emptying of the vessel. Each year, a little bit of our capacity, our resilience, our physical freedom drains away. It often happens so slowly we do not notice until one day a simple task becomes a difficult one. Getting up from a chair requires effort. Carrying groceries becomes a challenge. Playing with grandchildren leaves us breathless and sore. This is not just about aesthetics. It is about autonomy. It is about the ability to navigate the world with confidence and to live life on our own terms. The loss of muscle is the loss of agency. Modern culture offers a solution that is as aggressive as its diagnosis. Fight back. Lift heavier, push harder, consume more. It turns nourishment into a mathematical equation and exercise into a form of punishment. We are told to wage war on our own bodies, to force them into submission, to make them resemble a younger version of themselves. But this approach is rooted in fear, not in wisdom. It does not honor the body's journey. It treats it like a disobedient machine. This path can lead to injury, to burnout, and to a deeper sense of disconnection from the very vessel we are trying to preserve. True preservation does not come from fighting the nature of things, but from understanding it and working in harmony with it. The challenge then is not to stop the river of time. That is an impossible task. The challenge is to reinforce the banks, to guide the flow, and to find strength not in resisting change, but in adapting to it with intelligence and grace. We must look past the superficial solutions offered by a world obsessed with youth and instead seek a deeper, more sustainable source of vitality. A source that has nourished human beings for centuries, long before we started counting grams of protein and fearing the passage of years. This requires a shift from a mindset of conflict to one of cultivation. You are not a soldier fighting a war against your own body. You are a gardener tending to a precious, lifelong garden. To tend this garden effectively, especially in its later seasons, you must understand what it truly needs. Not just crude fuel, but profound nourishment. Not just harsh struggle, but conscious movement. It begins with reevaluating the very building blocks we provide for ourselves. We are taught to look for the most obvious, most potent sources of strength, often forgetting that the most profound power is frequently found in the most humble of places. The quiet strength of the root holds up the entire tree. This is the understanding we must cultivate. To stop the emptying of the vessel, we must first learn what truly fills it, not just with raw material, but with life-giving energy. Nourishment redefined. In our modern world, we have become disconnected from our food. We see it not as a source of life, a gift from the earth, but as a collection of data points. We read labels, we count calories, we measure grams of protein, fats, carbohydrates. We live in a state of nutritional anxiety, always searching for the next superfood, the next supplement, the perfect ratio that will unlock health and defy aging. This is a very analytical, very mental approach to something that is fundamentally primal and intuitive. It is an attempt to control the body through intellect, but in doing so, we often ignore its inherent wisdom. We silence the very signals our body sends us about what it needs. Think of how this changes our relationship with eating. It becomes a chore, a task of refueling, like putting gasoline in a car. There is little joy, little presence. We eat while distracted, while watching screens, while working. We do not truly taste the food. We do not honor the life that was given for our sustenance. We just consume. And we wonder why, despite our careful calculations and expensive supplements, we still feel empty. We still feel a lack of true vitality. It is because we are nourishing the body as a machine, but we are starving it as a living organism. The body is not a spreadsheet, it is an ecosystem. True nourishment is about more than just macronutrients. It is about the energy contained within the food, the quality of the soil it grew in, the sunlight it absorbed, the water that fed it. In ancient traditions, this is understood as qi, or life force. When we eat food that is alive and whole, we are not just taking in its chemical components. We are absorbing its vitality, its information, its connection to the earth. A sterile protein powder manufactured in a lab may have an impressive number on its label, but what is its essence? It is an isolate, a fragment. It lacks the synergistic wholeness of a food that has grown and lived. It is the difference between reading a description of a forest and actually walking among the trees. To redefine nourishment, we must shift from analyzing to experiencing. This means eating with awareness. It means preparing our food with intention and care. The act of cooking itself can be a meditation, a way of connecting with the ingredients. It means eating slowly, chewing thoroughly, and being present with the sensations of taste and texture. When we do this, our digestion improves. Our bodies are able to absorb more of the nutrients. And most importantly, we send a signal of respect and gratitude to our physical form. This in itself is a form of nourishment, a psychological and spiritual nourishment that is just as important as the physical. So, when we speak of finding a food that can help preserve our strength as we age, we are not looking for a magic bullet. We are not looking for a simple answer to a numbers game. We are looking for a substance, a way of eating that aligns with this deeper principle of holistic vitality. A food that is not just high in protein, but is also cleansing, balancing, and full of a quiet, unassuming life force. The answer is not found in the aggressive pursuit of more, but in the gentle embrace of enough. It is found in rediscovering the simple, profound wisdom that nature has offered all along. We have simply been too busy reading the labels to listen. Hidden strength. We are often conditioned to believe that strength must be obvious, that it must be overt and powerful. We think of the strength of the predator, the lion. We think of the egg, a symbol of potential life, a concentrated source of power, valued for its immediate and recognizable protein content. And the egg is a fine food. It has its purpose. But there is another kind of strength, a quieter, more resilient, and perhaps more profound strength. It is the strength of the bamboo that bends in the wind but does not break. It is the strength of the water that over time carves its way through solid rock. This is the kind of strength we seek to cultivate as we age. Not brittle power, but flexible resilience. There is a food that embodies this principle. It is humble. It has no bravado. It comes from the earth, born from a simple bean, the soybean. For centuries in the East, this food, particularly in its form as tofu, has been a cornerstone of nourishment. It is often misunderstood in the West, seen as bland or weak, but this is to mistake its subtlety for a lack of substance. Its strength is not loud, it is transformative. It is made by a process of gentle persuasion, soaking, grinding, heating, and pressing. It is a food of patience and process, not of brute force. When we look at this food purely through the narrow lens of modern nutrition, a surprising fact emerges. A firm block of tofu contains, gram for gram, more protein than an egg, with less fat and no cholesterol. From a purely analytical standpoint, it meets the requirement. It provides the essential amino acids, the building blocks necessary to repair and maintain the muscular structure that we are so keen to preserve. This fact alone makes it a worthy subject of our attention. It demonstrates that the nourishment our bodies need does not always come from the sources we have been taught to prioritize. But to stop there, to simply say, eat this because its numbers are good, is to fall back into the old way of thinking. It is to miss the entire point. The true power of this food lies in its nature. It is of the plant kingdom. It is light on the digestive system, meaning the body does not have to expend as much precious energy breaking it down. This is crucial as we get older, as our digestive fire may not be as strong as it once was. It nourishes without burdening. It provides strength without adding density or sluggishness. It cleanses as it builds. An egg provides a burst of life, but it is a heavier energy. Tofu offers a cleaner, more sustainable current. Consider its versatility. It is a culinary canvas. It takes on the flavor of whatever it is paired with. It does not dominate, it supports. This is a profound metaphor. It teaches us the wisdom of adaptability. It reminds us that true strength is not about imposing your own nature on everything, but about harmonizing with your environment. It can be made firm and grounding or soft and yielding. This adaptability is the very quality we need to cultivate in ourselves as we navigate the changes that come with age. To remain strong, we must become like this food, able to adapt, to harmonize, and to draw our power from a quiet and unassuming source. The hidden strength was never truly hidden. We just weren't looking for it in the right place. Mindful consumption. Having identified a source of nourishment, the next and most critical step is the how. How do we consume it? If we take this humble food, this block of tofu, and we consume it hastily without thought, while our minds are cluttered with the anxieties of the day, we receive only a fraction of its benefit. We may absorb the protein, the physical building blocks, but we miss the essence, the energy, the opportunity for a deeper connection. Mindful consumption is the practice that transforms a simple meal into a powerful ritual of healing and preservation for both body and mind. The process begins before you even take the first bite. It begins with the preparation. When you handle the food, do so with respect. Notice its texture, its coolness. As you slice it, let each cut be a deliberate action. This is not a chore to be rushed through. This is an act of creation, of preparing nourishment for the vessel of your consciousness. As you combine it with other ingredients, vegetables from the earth, spices that carry their own history and energy, do so with an appreciation for the harmony you are creating. The cooking process itself, the application of heat that transforms the ingredients, is a form of alchemy. Be present for it. When the meal is ready, create an environment of peace. This does not require an elaborate setup. It simply means removing distractions. Turn off the television, put away the phone. If you can, eat in silence. Sit down and before you begin, take a moment, look at the food. Acknowledge the journey it has taken to reach your plate, from the seed to the plant to the farmer to the market to your home. Cultivate a sense of gratitude for this gift of sustenance. This single moment of pause changes the entire energetic exchange you're about to have with your food. It shifts your body out of a state of stress and into a state of receptivity. Now you eat, but you do so with your full attention. Take a small bite, do not just chew and swallow. Experience it. What is the texture? Is it soft, firm, crisp? What are the flavors? Do they emerge slowly or all at once? Chew thoroughly, consciously. Chewing is the first stage of digestion, and when we do it properly, we make the work of our stomach and intestines infinitely easier. As you eat, pay attention to the signals of your body. Eat until you are satisfied, not until you are full. In many cultures, there is a practice of eating until you are 80% full, leaving space. This prevents the sluggishness and energetic drain that comes from overconsumption. This practice is not about restriction, it is about awareness. It is a profound act of self-care. When you consume with this level of mindfulness, you are telling your body that it is worthy of your time and attention. You are creating a state of calm in your nervous system that allows for optimal digestion and assimilation of nutrients. The body can then use these building blocks far more efficiently to repair tissue, to maintain muscle, and to generate clean, stable energy. You may eat the most perfect food in the world, but if your mind is in a state of chaos and your body is in a state of stress, that perfection is lost. The how is as important, if not more so, than the what. This is how eating becomes a spiritual practice. Physical practice. Nourishment, no matter how perfect, is only potential energy. If this potential is not expressed, if it is not put into motion, it stagnates. It can become a burden rather than a source of strength. Imagine pouring the purest water into a pond, but the pond has no outlet. Eventually, the water becomes still, murky, and lifeless. The energy you consume from your food must flow. This flow is generated through physical practice. It is the essential partner to mindful consumption. One provides the building materials, the other puts those materials to use, organizing them into a strong and resilient structure. When we speak of physical practice for those over 60, the mind often goes to one of two extremes, either a complete surrender to inactivity or a desperate attempt to replicate the intense, high-impact exercises of youth. Neither is the path of wisdom. The goal is not to build a massive, sculpted physique. The goal is preservation, functionality, and grace. It is about maintaining the body's innate intelligence and keeping the channels of energy, the meridians, open and clear. It is about reminding the muscles of their purpose and the joints of their freedom. The focus shifts from intensity to consistency. The ideal practice is one that cultivates both strength and flexibility, a balance of yin and yang. Consider practices like Tai Chi or Qigong. These ancient arts combine slow, deliberate movements with deep breathing and focused intention. They are often called meditation in motion. Each movement is designed to stretch the ligaments, move the joints through their full range of motion, and gently engage the muscles without causing strain or impact. It builds strength from the inside out, improving balance, coordination, and the deep stability of the core. This is the kind of strength that prevents falls, the kind of strength that allows you to move with confidence. Even simpler practices are profoundly effective. The art of standing, Zhanzhuang, or standing like a tree, is a foundational practice in many internal martial arts. It looks like nothing is happening from the outside, but internally, the body is learning to relax and activate muscles simultaneously. It corrects posture, strengthens the legs and back, and calms the mind. It teaches you to find strength in stillness, to be rooted in the earth. Just 10 minutes of this practice each day can create a fundamental shift in your physical and energetic presence. It is the essence of building a strong foundation.
Walking too can be a powerful practice when done with intention. Not just walking to get somewhere, but walking for the sake of walking. Feel your feet on the ground. Coordinate your breath with your steps. Let your arms swing naturally. This simple, rhythmic activity circulates blood and energy throughout the entire body. It is a gentle yet profound way to keep the vessel from becoming stagnant. The key to all these practices is not to push to the point of exhaustion. It is to work within your capacity, to listen to your body's feedback, and to show up consistently, day after day. The nourishment you eat provides the potential. The consistent, mindful movement is what realizes that potential, weaving it into a tapestry of lifelong vitality. Inner stillness. We invest so much effort in the pursuit of a strong and healthy body. We carefully choose our food. We engage in physical practice, and these things are essential. But we must ask a deeper question. What is the ultimate purpose of this strong and healthy body? Is it merely to exist for a longer period of time? Is it to look a certain way, or is there something more? The true benefit of a well-tended physical vessel is not the vessel itself, but the clarity it affords the resident within. A body that is free from constant pain, weakness, and discomfort is a body that can become quiet, and in that quiet, the mind can find stillness. Consider the alternative. When the body is in a state of chronic discomfort, when it feels weak or unbalanced, it is constantly sending signals of alarm to the brain. These signals create a background noise of anxiety. It is difficult to focus, to be present, to experience joy when you are constantly distracted by physical static. Your attention is hijacked by your body's needs and fears. Am I strong enough to do this? Will I fall? Does this ache mean something serious? This internal monologue consumes vast amounts of mental and emotional energy, leaving little room for peace. By consciously nourishing the body and engaging in mindful movement, we are not just building muscle, we are cultivating a foundation for inner peace. As the body becomes more balanced, more capable, and more resilient, the alarm signals begin to fade. The background noise subsides. You begin to trust your body again. It becomes a reliable friend rather than a source of worry. This trust is liberating. It frees up your attention from the constant management of physical decline and allows it to be placed on higher things, on connection, on creativity, on awareness. The body ceases to be a problem to be solved and becomes a stable platform from which to experience life. This is the state of inner stillness. It is not an empty state, but a state of profound fullness and presence. It is the ability to sit and simply be without the urge to distract oneself, without being pulled away by physical discomfort or mental chatter. It is in this stillness that we find clarity. Our thoughts become less chaotic. Our emotions become more balanced. We begin to see the world and ourselves with a more compassionate and discerning eye. We can listen more deeply to others and to the quiet wisdom of our own intuition. This stillness is the ultimate reward of self-mastery. The physical practices are the gate. The strength you build in your muscles and bones becomes the container. But the treasure inside the container is this peaceful, centered awareness. To age with this quality is to age with profound grace. You may have fewer physical capabilities than you did in your youth, but you have something far more valuable, an unshakable inner core, the food we eat, the way we move. These are all tools for sculpting not just a strong body, but a quiet mind. That is the real work. The preservation of the body is in service to the liberation of the spirit. Lifelong vitality. We began this journey with a question posed by a title, a search for a single food to solve the problem of muscle loss. This is the way our modern minds work. We seek a simple external solution to a complex internal state. But the truth we have uncovered together is that the answer was never going to be a single thing. The answer is not a food. The answer is a philosophy. The answer is a path. The title was merely a doorway, and I am grateful you have walked through it with me to see the entire landscape. Lifelong vitality is not something you find. It is something you cultivate. It is a process of integration. The humble soybean is a powerful tool, a source of clean, effective nourishment. But its power is only unlocked when it is combined with mindful consumption. And that mindful consumption is only fully effective when its energy is circulated through conscious physical practice. And that physical practice finds its ultimate purpose when it leads to a state of inner stillness. Do you see? It is a circle. Each part supports and enhances all the others. You cannot isolate one piece and expect to receive the benefit of the whole. To try to do so is like trying to appreciate a symphony by listening to only one instrument. This path requires a fundamental shift away from the mindset of fighting against aging. You are not at war, you are in a dance, a lifelong dance with change, with entropy, with time itself. Your role is not to defeat your dance partner, but to learn to move with it gracefully. This means listening to your body instead of commanding it. It means choosing consistency over intensity. It means valuing inner peace over outer appearance. It means understanding that true strength is quiet, resilient, and adaptable, not loud, brittle, and rigid. This integrated practice becomes the central organizing principle of your life. It is not another task to be added to a busy schedule. It becomes the very rhythm of your day. The care you take in preparing your morning meal, the 10 minutes of standing meditation, the mindful walk in the afternoon. These small, consistent acts of self-respect accumulate over time. They are the drops of water that eventually fill the entire vessel. This is how you stop the slow emptying. You don't plug a leak. You create such a powerful inflow of conscious energy that the leak becomes irrelevant. You are constantly replenishing your own wellspring of vitality. This is what it means to age with power and grace. Not the power of domination, but the power of a stable, peaceful center. The storms of life will still come. The body will still change. But you will have a deep, unshakable foundation. You are no longer tossed about by the winds of fear and uncertainty. You have become the mountain. This is the final insight. The secret is not what you eat. The secret is who you become through the dedicated, mindful practice of caring for the totality of your being. This is the path to a vitality that is not diminished by time, but is in fact deepened by it. Embracing this path is the greatest gift you can give to yourself and to those around you. When you move through the world with this quiet strength and calm presence, you become a source of peace for others. You demonstrate that the later seasons of life are not to be feared, but to be revered. A time not of decay, but of the most profound harvest. You embody the wisdom that strength of spirit is the ultimate, enduring strength, housed in a body that has been cared for as the precious and sacred temple it truly is. As a 68-year-old man, I clicked this video expecting a simple diet tip. Instead, I feel like I've been given a new way to live. The idea of being a gardener for the body instead of a soldier at war with aging just completely shifted my perspective. It's not about fighting the inevitable anymore. It's about cultivating grace. Thank you for this. I have a lot to reflect on.